Hey there, listeners. Welcome to Hines on Air, your weekly dose of inspiration, motivation, and real-life entrepreneurial stories. I'm Matt Hines, your host, and I'm excited to have you join me on this journey. From building a successful law firm to venturing into other industries like real estate and social media, I've experienced both the triumphs and the challenges that come with entrepreneurship. I've learned firsthand the importance of resilience, adaptability, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. On Hines on Air, we're diving deep into the world of business, law, and personal growth. Join me as I chat with incredible guests who have faced adversity, defied expectations, and achieved extraordinary success. We'll discuss their strategies, their mindset, and the lessons they've learned along the way. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, a seasoned business owner, or simply someone looking for a little inspiration, Hines on Air is for you. Remember to subscribe, like, and leave a review whenever you listen to podcasts. Your support helps us reach more people and continue sharing these incredible stories. Let's get started. This program is being sponsored by Bravos Leadership. Bravos Leadership is dedicated to helping entrepreneurs and other business-minded people achieve their goals in business and expand their companies. They provide insight through motivational talks, inspirational stories, but also practical applications of management techniques that you can use to help you grow your company. Information regarding sales, organization, management, and all areas of the company are taught so that you can have a thriving company. Visit bravosleadership.com and find out more information. Hey everybody, Matt Hines back at you with another Hines on Air. We got another exciting episode, and as many of y'all already know, this podcast is developed to helping a person achieve goals, expanding in life, and getting skills that's going to take them to the next level. And that's what this next guest is all about. She is a best-selling author. She has 2 books. The first book, The Art of Selling, We Make Order Makers, Not Order Takers. And then another book, Beyond Order Makers. All right, so she's an expert in selling, 20 years of experience, maybe more than that, right, Alison?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
A lot more, okay. All right, but she's worked in various industries. Right now, Alison, construction?
Construction materials is kind of like the best way to sum it up.
Okay, all right. But anyway, without further ado, let me welcome Alison Mullins to the show. Welcome, Alison.
Hey, Matt, thank you so much. Nice to meet you, and looking forward to this.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you being here. All right, so you live, all right, I see, one thing I read on the bio is that the company that you're currently with, is that Grassi Pietra?
I'm just a contractor, so, I own my own companies. I'm a full entrepreneur, so one of my entrepreneurial companies, ACCM, I've had since 2016, and I do contract business development for companies, and I've been working for Italians since 2016 in some sort of form or fashion. I did take a brief employment there during the COVID because things got a little hairy over in Italy, and then I started Rep Methods really in 2022, end of 2022, launched it in 2023, and became the best-selling author in September of 2023. So
wow,
it's definitely been a whirlwind. So 2 companies, do my own marketing. This is great marketing for me, and still selling. So I'm a contractor for Grassi Pietri in Vicenza. And with that, it's part-time, but when you work in the world that I do, it's a slow roll, right? It's when sales, with construction, you have to be in it for the long game. So I've been working with her since end of 2023, and we are just now, my pipeline is exploding.
Oh, wow.
So I'm really excited about that.
So what's it? Give me an example, like a company comes to you and says, Alison, we want to do X. Like, how does it start? Are you training their staff on sales, or are you creating a sales team? What are you doing?
I've got lots of ways I can help people. So the Rep Methods business was designed for salespeople, especially in my industry, because in the stone world and in fabrication and in basically any kind of service-based business, you can imagine a plumber or a remodeler or a contractor. A lot of these businesses are mom and pops. They don't have huge HR departments.
Gotcha.
We're not I don't work with big corporations. I actually really like working with companies that are under 15 million annual revenue.
Okay.
They might have a couple of locations, but typically small employee bases. And that type of business owner does not have time to put in the effort that it takes for a long-term coaching regimen and sales training. So usually what I'll do is I'll work with them to do a workshop with everybody in the house, front end and back end, right? And we go over a lot of the principles of sales, because even your truck drivers, even your warehouse managers, those guys are selling too. Sales is not just that person knocking on the door. So we do everybody. And then we'll typically identify a couple of employees who might be lacking in a few areas. Maybe they're on a PIP, maybe they're, just not performing it to speed, not hitting those numbers. And I'll do a long-term coaching regimen with those folks, typically around 6 months, sometimes longer. One of my companies that I work with in Texas, we did on and off things for over a year. And then I finally got to graduate her team in Austin and let them go for a while on their own. So customized sales solutions is the summary of it all, between seminars, workshops, coaching, and boot camps, if that even comes up. And
you
as
come
well,
to their office,
with
you come
ACCM,
to their location and train them? Like, what's a boot camp?
Oh my gosh, the boot camp's when I go on site.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
It can be a week or a month. It depends on how many people I'm working with. So what that looks like is I do really in-depth training with the person. I'm riding along with them on, especially the outside sales folks. So been doing that a really long time. I got pretty good at it. I'll do some inside teamwork with showroom sales, help people to understand how to find the links of new business, how to chase new business, how to talk to people appropriately. That's a big topic right now, Matt, because the 20-year-olds that are coming into the workforce, a lot of them aren't really great with the interpersonal communication. So teaching them where to find the ask, making sure that they're organized on how we're going to maximize our time and efficiency for the day. How do you do all of this and then still get back to the office to input data and do follow-up emails, and establishing regimens about, when to call them back, when to visit again, timelines and scheduling. And these are things that, you're a business owner, and I'm sure your listeners, there's a lot of business owners. We have a lot to do as a business owner. We don't always necessarily have time to strengthen some of these traits within our staff. So I kind of become almost like an ad hoc sales manager in many, many different ways. And it's working so well. I'm really thrilled with how it's developed.
No, that's great. That's a very needed. I agree with you. Yeah, different generations certainly handle people differently. I'm not going to say anything too critical, but
oh no, and I'm not, and I don't mean critical. It's just these are skill sets that some of the phone generation, right? So I'm of the generation where I had a little bit of internet, not much. I mean, I was already in high school by the time we got the internet, and we, didn't have smartphones. I went through years of corporate working in New York City with no fancy phones. I mean, we barely even had flip phones. And my generation just got a little bit more of that exposure, so I'd like to be able to pass that forward.
Mm-hmm. Very good. All right. So, let me ask you this, your opinion on a few things. What's your, on follow-ups? Like, how do you coach somebody on how many times they should follow up? How long a lead can be hot? Like, do you stick at it for a week or a month, or how do you do those?
A couple different ways. Number one, I try to teach intuition selling. So I'm not telling these folks how long it should take. I'm trying to get them to develop a protocol that's comfortable for the environment. I'm teaching about one client right now who would just drop a lead after leaving one message, on a voicemail, or sending one email. So sometimes it's just breaking through with building confidence so that these folks know it's okay. Like in my world, I have to teach sales reps this all the time. Like, these guys want to buy from you. Like, they love buying slabs. They love writing checks for that. It's an honor to be able to pay for material, and cut it and install it and put it in somebody's home. You're not bothering them.
Right.
You're a service. You're doing a service. And if I can get the relationship built between the client and the sales rep strong enough, you got to realize that they're going to need you. And that's what you want. You want to build a need. So sometimes it's a real customized variable person by person, and follow up. I have to teach people that it's okay and find that comfortability. So for me, it's 48 hours after an email, I'm going to hit them with a phone call. I'm going to leave a message. If they don't call me back or routinely reply to that email, I'm going to wait a couple more days or the Monday of the following week. And I also teach people to identify when is the best time for you to interrupt your customer's day. Like, think about them. Think about where they are in their world. So we're talking about, if it's an interior designer, typically they're going to be out visiting with clients during the middle of the week. A lot of times they don't show up in the office until 10 a.m. because they might be working late. They might be out until 7 or 8 p.m. working with clients. So, 10 a.m. on a Monday morning is a great time to catch someone in the office. So teaching them that intuition to think about what your customer's doing, think about what works for them, think outside of the box. And it's not always about, just because you need to get the follow-up done, when can you actually schedule that in your calendar, put reminders in place to help you, not have to think about it.
Mm-hmm. So you don't give a set number like you must at least call 12 times or you must at least do blah.
Well, continuing on with that, I do have a process that I wrote about in book number 2 called Manifestation and Selling. And I do have a magic number technique. So when working with a client, we look at what the sales goals are, what they need to hit. What is that big number? And I teach people to break down the big number into bite-sized pieces. So let's say it's $250,000, right? You need to sell $250,000 in a year or a month, whatever it is. What is the cost of those particular units? Do a little magic division. It doesn't have to be perfect, but most likely I'm going to get down to the number 5 from a number like $250,000. So what does number 5 do? Well, that means that I'd like for you to contact 5 customers to follow up with every day for something, for some reason. Just an outreach, just a touch, checking on them. I want you to try to get 5 quotes submitted to clients, either every day or every week. It depends on the capacity of the business, obviously. So we look at what type of sales we're working with, what are the quantities that are average, and I try to teach them to take that number 5 and apply it. Try to find 5 new clients to visit every single week. Meaning, if you're in outside sales and you're going around in your car, don't just go to the same places that you always go. Try to find a new connection and try to hit that number every single week. That's how pipelines are built.
Right.
And it's that repetitive work and focusing on an individual number that can sometimes get the less confident salesperson over the hurdle of worrying about their monthly quota or what they have to do for the end of the year. And let's just quiet the net down a little bit. Let's shrink it down and go for these little wins that you can hit every single day. And that helps with confidence too.
Okay. That's good. That makes sense. But just to be clear, so you don't have a set number like 12 or blah or
no, because I think every business is different. I don't.
Okay.
I think it's very important to look at what fits within the type of product that we're selling. What works with your business, right? I've got one coaching client. She just graduated. We're going to take a break for a while. But sometimes for her, it would be like we'd get in the middle of the month, right? And she would look at her deficit on what numbers that she wasn't hitting, what she had to close before the end of the month to hit her quota. And we would just renegotiate what that magic number was just to get her through the last 2 weeks of the month. And it worked, Matt. I'm telling you, it worked because for her, it was like, listen, I just want you to focus on selling 2 sets a day, right? And each one of these things is like a $5,000 and $6,000, $10,000 sale. So it's a big, those are nice units,
Yeah.
right? So if she can sell 2 of those a day on the rest of the 9 business days that we have left in the month, guess what? You're going to hit your goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of stuff works. So follow
The
up
setting targets.
and quotas.
Yeah.
I feel like it really has to be adjusted. There's no set standard.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. I said the other day, it's funny, I gave a sales seminar about a week ago. And one of the things I mentioned was this program is being sponsored by Bravos Leadership. Bravos Leadership is dedicated to helping entrepreneurs and other business-minded people achieve their goals in business and expand their companies. They provide insight through motivational talks, inspirational stories, but also practical applications of management techniques that you can use to help you grow your company. Information regarding sales, organization, management, and all areas of the company are taught so that you can have a thriving company. Visit bravosleadership.com and find out more information. Well, I found this fact, and it seems to be true in our line of work. We have a law firm. I have a chiropractor. I have different companies. The main thing is the law firm, and certainly it takes a while to get that close. I'm not on the front lines, but I'm looking at the statistics and all. And this I had seen said many sales, I forgot the number, were closed on the 5th attempt.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Statistically.
So you had to actually contact a person 5 times. You get 4 no's before you get a yes. I can't say if that's right in every situation, but it does hit home the idea that it takes perseverance. It's not call one time, they say no, and then you get disappointed and go to the next. It's like, go.
Yeah. I mean, I talk about in the first book, The Art of Selling, because that's real. The first book was written for sales reps, especially outside sales reps.
Okay.
It's about all those core components. The second book is written for entrepreneurs. So I talk about know when to hold and know when to fold.
All
right. And it takes a little while to build that type of an intuition of when to let somebody go. But if you've been persistent over several months and you are not getting anywhere with a client, it doesn't even mean that you have to let them go forever, but you might want to take a break, give it about 3 months, put a note in your calendar to give them a call in a little while and let some air come on in, right? Just give it a break. And then also, sometimes, that know when to hold and know when to fold has to do with people who are beating you down for pricing and really trying to kill you on a deal. Sometimes it's in your best interest to just walk away.
Yeah.
And
That's interesting. That's a tough one sometimes because we get hit in our industry. There is a sort of a market change in the fees that attorneys are charging. And these new attorneys are coming on the scene and offering much less contingency fees. We're selling contingency fees. And
by the way, my father's an attorney.
Oh, no kidding.
So I speak your language.
Okay, good.
Bit.
All right. And so now it's almost trained the community to ask for lower. And we're like, what do? Do you hold on to your integrity or do you kind of go with the flow and get the inflow of signups? And for the most part, we've kind of gone with the flow and just adapted because, I don't know, it is what it is. Because there's so many options in our industry, it's not a big deal to call the next guy.
But are you really going out and selling your business, Matt? I mean, are you wait for people to come to you and pick up the phone? Do you run ads?
No, we are very much aggressively marketing. You couldn't do it. You'll die in a few months if you expect the phone just to ring on its own. I mean, somebody who says, yeah, we pay Google $500 or $1,000 a month. That's a joke. They won't even create a ripple in the water for that. It takes a lot. Yeah.
So, if you get a chance to read Beyond Order Makers, you'll probably find some of the target marketing stuff I talk about fascinating because I do believe that there's about every company has at least 8 arms of business that they should be advertising to, 8 types of clients, 8 categories of customers, and you've got your priorities within those tiers. But, it'd be interesting for you to complete one of my octopus diagrams and see if your marketing matches up.
Where's that? That's in which book? Beyond Order Makers?
Well, I use the octopus diagram as my own invention. It's in both books, but for you, Beyond Order Makers, it's in section 2.
Okay.
So section 1 is all about brand personality. So the hot word is avatar. I don't use avatar. I use target persona.
That's a little bit more communicable. That makes more sense. Avatar to me was like, all I did was think about the damn movie. And
I know, me too. But like that was a big topic at South by Southwest this year. You know, people were talking about your company's avatar.
I know.
And for me, I write about the target persona.
Thank you.
And figuring out like who is your perfect client.
Right.
Who is that? Go deep. Go and look at all the demographics and the psychographics behind that picture perfect client. And every single one of your brand marketing potential needs to cater to that one person. The rest of the people will still come. You're not losing business, but you want to hone in and really hit the mark on that one customer.
Gotcha. Interesting. Yeah, that's what we found. Our target market is the Hispanic market. That is who we have sort of grown up with to help. I don't habla español muy bien, pero...
I was going to say, abogado español.
Yeah.
Muy bien, señor.
Yeah, gracias. Mi número es 404 abogado.
404 abogado.
Doesn't that flow nice? So, we have that. But that's our target, and that's what our marketing is really geared towards. But it does get some other demographics. So, I'm just agreeing with what you're saying. So we go hard on that one.
You go hard on that one, and you've got a lot of, obviously, Espanol-speaking people in your firm.
Yeah.
Okay,
who are great people. That is one. I hate that this big conflict has erupted in our society with, the rioting and all that kind of stuff. But I'm a big fan of the Hispanic community. I think they do great things.
Me too. Me too. Spanish was my second language.
Oh, yeah? So you habla español?
Sí, I mean, un poquito.
How about Italiano?
Para Italiano, I speak Spanish and Italian, and I can read about 6 other languages. I don't know. I got one of those gifts for words.
Wow. Yeah, well, after 7 years, I'm still struggling with Spanish, so I don't have that gift.
You know, you really, I lose it, use it or lose it. And I will say, I get better when I am immersed in an environment like Miami. Like whenever I'm in Miami and I'm working, I love it because I'm only there 4 days, and by the time I'm coming home, my Spanish is so much better.
Yep. Yeah, I was amazed. I haven't been to Miami much. When I went there, I don't know, several months ago, and saw the amount of it's all Spanish. I mean, maybe
it's another country. Like Miami's like living in another country.
It is. And it was great. I loved it. I loved the restaurants. I loved the people. We had a good time, but I was shocked. I did not know it was that much Hispanic, but great city. Yeah.
I really enjoy work. I work with a lot of artisans down in Miami and architects and designers. It's a wonderful city to work in. And again, I get to practice. It's great.
Yeah. Nice. Let me ask you this real quick before we go. We're running out of time, but I actually could keep on talking for a while. So there's some consultants that I've worked with in the past, and they would say, dedicate X amount of your gross income towards marketing, towards promotion. Mm-hmm. So let's say that is, I don't know, $50,000 a month. Now, their idea was 60% of that should be towards branding and 40% should be towards the marketing, the actual call me sort of messaging. Do you agree with something like that?
So the numbers I've always heard are about 12% of your annual, anywhere between 6 and 12% of your annual. And
really?
Actually, I wrote about it in the book. I can't even remember. You caught me off guard. I can't even remember. I have a method in the book where you can kind of take what your revenue is and divvy it up based on your needs. One thing that I feel is most important before you get to the number that works for you between the 6 and the 12%. But I don't think it's a 60-40 ratio. For me, it's divided amongst the 3 pillars. That's what I was taught. So I give credit in my second book to a group I love. And all your listeners, I hope you should go out there. Am I allowed to curse?
Go for it. I think I dropped something earlier, so that's all right.
Okay. So this company called Strong Brand Social, her name is Katie Wright, but it's WIGHT, runs a beautiful, almost free course called Fuck the Algorithm.
Oh, wow.
I became one of her clients and spent about 6 months really, really digging into the structure of my brand and target marketing and the UVP and the split and how it all goes. And so the way that I learned, because I went to school for marketing, we didn't talk about pillars when I was in school. That wasn't a thing. It was like Kleenex versus tissue. Anyway.
No, I'm with you. I have a marketing degree too, and
I don't even know what my marketing degree is worth,
right?
Especially in today's era.
I know,
but Katie taught me to talk about the 3 pillars, which are your pillar 1 is your aspirational approach, pillar 2 is your call to action approach, and pillar 3 is your proof.
Like testimonials, stuff like that.
Right. And so no matter what avenue of advertising that you do, and I'm a firm believer in co-op advertising with other businesses. I like free stuff. Mm-hmm. So I talk a lot in my book about, if you're low on revenue and you don't have one of those big ad budgets, you can use one of my diagrams to really identify how you can actually work with other people in your community to get as much free marketing as you possibly can. But once you do have a little bit of a marketing budget, and for me, it might just be social media or it might be a radio ad, I have to decide at what percentage I'm going to be splitting the advertisements. Is my business aligned? Like with yours, I feel like it would be mostly the aspirational approach, a little less call to action, because every one of your marketing materials is going to have a call to action at the end, like pick up the phone and call 474 Abogado, right? So you got that always maxed in, but you want to be showing how you're helping the community. Yeah. You want to be showing the good things that you're doing. Same thing with, you also want to be showing the proof. You want to show people that you do a good job.
Right.
So I feel like all of your marketing as a lawyer would be heavy on these pillar 1 and 3 modules, with CTA pillar 2 pieces mixed in.
What's CTA mean? Call to action.
Call to action.
Got it. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That makes sense. Okay. Well, that kind of agrees, because what you just said was I don't know if the testimonials are branding or marketing. It's kind of both, but yeah, that makes sense. I like that.
It's marketing.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, good. That's a good approach.
Well, anyway, you didn't ask for a free consultation, but I think I did.
No, but it's good information, and anybody can apply that, because certainly these young entrepreneurs, which I hope to hit with this podcast, should know that. They should know what to do and have some sort of a vision.
Yeah. So I do run brand strategies for companies and, some other marketing ad hoc stuff through my ACCM business. So, I'll make sure you have that information. And if anybody needs some little help, just reach out.
Okay. Do you I'm sorry if you just said it. Do you have a website or anything people should visit?
Oh, yeah. Well, sure. So Rep Methods is www.repmethods.com. And ACCM is Alpha Colores Creative Marketing. So I have Spanish even in my name. Alpha Colores. So it's the Spanish spelling of colors. And www.alphacolores.com.
Nice. All right. We'll put that in the description below so people can visit. So, I would encourage, because what you're saying is great ideas. I agree with everything you've said. We've used it. We've been around for about 20 years, and we market hard. So we've seen and tested a lot of these theories, and I do agree with them.
The lowest cost advice I give is in that book, Beyond Order Makers, and that's available Barnes & Noble, Amazon, online retailers. I'm getting an audio book. It'll be out by the end of the year.
Good for you. Are you going to do the audio?
Oh, no.
A lot of authors seem to be doing their own audio.
I have a decent voice, but you know how much it's a lot of effort to record and edit all that.
Yeah, I bet. No doubt. I'm a big audio fan, so I've kind of researched that a little bit. Yeah. Okay, well, listen, Alison, it has been a pleasure. That is fantastic information.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Thank you. Maybe you'll have me back. Thank you so much.
Oh, we'll be glad to. Yeah, but you're very welcome. And yeah, thanks again for your time. And congrats on your books, too. That's no easy feat.
Thank you.
Not just one, but 2 bestsellers. All right, good. Well, listen, Alison, thank you. And thank you, everybody, for listening. I hope you got something out of this episode. These are good principles. To me, marketing, if not the most important, is certainly up there for a business. Mainly in the beginning, I don't think people market enough. I don't think people understand how much it takes to create desire for your product or for your service out there. You can get out there and you think it's going to take this much, but it takes about 15 times that amount of effort to actually create an effect in the environment. It's difficult, especially getting started. So anyway, apply these principles, grow your business. Join us for the next Hines on Air. And if you haven't already, follow this episode, click your like, and share this with your friends, and we will see you next time. This program is being sponsored by Law Offices of Matthew C. Hines. The Law Offices of Matthew C. Hines helped all individuals who have been involved in a car accident, who have been injured at work, or have been arrested or given tickets. We make sure your rights are protected and that you receive all the benefits allowed under the law. Visit us at www.hineslaw.org, hineslaw.org. Hines on Air is for you. Remember to subscribe, like, and leave a review whenever you listen to podcasts. Your support helps us reach more people and continue sharing these incredible stories.